I scrolled back out. It's curious, I guess, about me. My leg is shaking. I'm nervous now. Okay, so back to my dad's mom. She was from a place called Carlisle, Kentucky. Anyways, I reckon, like I said, allegedly, to all my knowledge, there's another one. There's another deer over there. Sorry, guys, there's two. The other one's closer to me up there. I think I just seen something up the hillside, too. I don't know if I can film it or not. Oh, my goodness. I'm getting the chills. But, I'm sorry I can't focus, you guys. I seen like a flash of something up there at the very top of the cemetery. Or the graveyard. Anyways, you all. And I'm about to lose my voice too, so I better get on with this video. It's not good to have a summer cold either. I've had a summer cold before about 10 years ago or so, and it wasn't good. Probably longer than that, probably about 15 or 20 years ago. I had a summer cold, and it took me forever. And that was before my immune system was weakened and I was ever getting sick. Used to, I didn't get sick but like once a year or something before that. But anyways, and it took me forever to get over that summer cold. And everybody in my house at the time got sick too from it. It was a bad one to get over, having a summer cold. You know, I don't like having summer colds. But anyways, so she was already married to a man when I think she turned 16 years old, my dad's mom. And I think she married a German man. Like I said, I could be wrong about all this. This is just based upon, to my knowledge, hearsay or whatever. And I think his last name was Shrout. And so he was that's a common thing, you guys. That was a big time common thing back then. And I'm sure that, I don't know how else to say this. And I don't want to make nobody mad that actually watches my videos. I've just got to say it like I've felt it or heard it or seen it before. And I think back then it was a real common thing for girls especially to get married really young. And it was probably frowned upon if a female wasn't married really young and stuff. And I'm sure her parents, probably her mother, I'm assuming, probably wanted her married off at 16 years old. And, you know, probably back then, especially mothers, I could see it too, even if it don't sound right, you guys. I understand things, but I could see it back then, old-fashioned women especially. I seen another something up there at the top of the thing again, another thing going through the woods. Probably a deer. But anyways, I think really that people, even a lot of people, probably didn't think of it like that. And there's all kinds of different ways you can look at things and think of things. But even by her mother probably doing that, like pushing her to get married and stuff to an older man, she was probably really wanting her to look out for her daughter and thinking an older man, you know, would offer her a better chance at life and support her better, is what I'm thinking, you guys. I wanted to say this too to clarify what I said yesterday on the video from yesterday. And I really don't want to upset none of the locals or hurt any family members or nothing. But whenever I was talking about my aunt and my uncle being my soulmate, my aunt, my uncle, my best friend, my mom and my dad to me and treating me better than either one of my parents have ever did and taught me true love, I don't regret saying that. That's obviously from my soul and my heart and my experiences. You guys, and I know you all know what I'm trying to say and talk about, but we all, as human beings, we all have different souls and experiences with different people. In other words, this is just for example. I'm trying to make my sibling, because I know he watches my videos and I do shout outs to him, and I don't want to make him mad or nothing. I want him to understand why I said this. It's because obviously it is my YouTube channel and I can do and say whatever the heck I want to do and say. But on top of that too is because, and I don't have no hate towards my sibling or nothing, but anyways, it's like this, and this goes with every human being in life. Somebody can have a wonderful experience with one human being, and then the next person can have a horrible experience with another human being. And I wasn't saying that my experiences was horrible with my parents or nothing in that video. I'm just saying my experience. Here's another mushroom, you guys. Ooh, I almost stepped on it. But anyways, I just felt more love, true love, what true love really is, from both my aunt and my uncle on my mom's side of the family, more so than I ever did anyone else. And I really do think that they taught me a lot. And I'm sure even my sibling can understand and feel the same way when it comes to my uncle, because my uncle was the type of person, he was so rare. My aunt was too, but it was, you know, they were still different people or whatever. Anyways, my uncle made everybody he ever came in contact with, whether he liked them or not, he treated them good. He treated them with respect. He told them hello. He made them feel like, I don't know how else to describe this, but he made them feel wanted. He made them feel loved. And, you know, he didn't have much. He was kind of a poor person when he was here on this earth. But if he had something, if you came to his house and you was hungry, he always fed you. You know, and he always made you feel accepted and just like he wanted you around to visit. There's a pine cone. But anyways, I hope that explained that. That's how I was feeling. Okay, let's get on with this video because I'm already like 30 minutes in and I ain't went nowhere yet. So my dad's mom, I gotta get me a drink of water, you guys. My dad's mom got married and started having children when she was 16 years old. And I think she had 5 daughters with a German man. I don't remember his name, but they were from Carlisle, Kentucky. And that's kind of close to Cynthiana. Anyways, so I don't know how, or I don't know the full story. I only know bits and pieces of things, you guys. But I guess there goes that deer. See it over there crossing the road. Hi, Bubby. Let me see if I can't scroll in. I'm probably late about it. I don't know if I can't see nothing because of the sun, y'all, what I'm recording. There's that deer crossing the road, getting ready to go into the mountains there. I don't know if I filmed him or not. But anyways, I'm sure her mother probably wanted her to get married to that man. And I know he was a lot older than her. I think he was like 26 years old at the time. And so, but that, like I said, you guys, this was a common thing back then for a lot of families. Anyways, she had 5 daughters. So sometime in between, I guess she ended up divorcing her first husband. And I don't really know this for sure. Like I said, my memory is like bits and pieces of random things. But I think there must have been some kind of war going on. And I could be wrong about all this, guys. So whatever, take it as it is. Anyways, there it goes. It's crossing the other road down the hillside there. Let's see if I can zoom in on him. I don't even see him now. I can't see nothing because of the sun. But he was there in the road. I guess he's already went down. Anyways, I think there was some kind of war going on. And I don't know what the location was, but it had to be somewhere in Kentucky. I've got flies biting me and itching me too, you guys. I gotta hurry. But anyways, I'm sweating. So there must have been some kind of war going on in Kentucky somewhere. Or not in Kentucky, but there was some kind of war, I don't know, it might have been a World War. I don't know which one it was, I guess 2. I don't know. But anyways, there was some kind of war going on around the world. But someplace in Kentucky, it had to be in Kentucky. Because my grandpa always, as far as I know, he always lived in Letcher County, where I live at right now. And that's where his family was mostly from, I guess. You know, whenever they came over here, I guess from overseas or whatever. So anyways, I'm burning up, you guys. I'm getting distracted easily. But, so there was some kind of war going on somewhere in the world. But there was some place in Kentucky at the time that was making weapons for a war. And I guess it was like a factory thing. Anyways, at that place where they was making weapons for the war, I don't know which war it was, but anyways, that's where I think my grandpa met my granny, was at that factory. And by that time, they got married and stuff, and my grandpa lived in that house that's next door to my house, where my uncle lives at right now. My grandpa was the one who built that, and he passed away. That's where he lived when he passed away. Anyways, when him and my granny got married, Dorothy had already had 5 children, and they were pretty much grown daughters. You know, the way people looked at people being grown, just like they did for my granny, it was the same thing for her daughters. And her daughters were all like in their teenage years. And they was like, I don't know their ages or nothing, but they were all teenagers. Like 14, I'm assuming 15, 16, whatever, on up. And I think even some of them was mostly already getting married and moving out of the house. But one of the daughters, and I hope she don't get mad if she ever watches my videos. She still is alive. She's in her 80s. But that's the thing too, though, what I've experienced all my life, my take on things, on my dad's side of the family. My dad's side of the family, it seems like, especially with the females, which the females are not necessarily connected to me. I'm going to have to step over here in the shade to finish telling the story and focusing. Anyways, though, you guys, because those are, I know my family members don't like me using this word, and I'm sorry, but I don't know how else to describe things. My dad's sisters, obviously, are his half-sisters, but they're whole in their hearts, or whatever, you guys. But like I said, my granny had already had 5 children. or her daughters or whatever. Anyways, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm burning up so much.